Hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this exercise applying user story mapping as a technique to prioritize the product backlog you have created based on your own product idea. Let's debrief this now together and let me share a few tips and tricks with you so that you become a better user story mapping practitioner. The famous investor Warren Buffett has two rules of investing. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Why do I bring this up? We also have multiple, but especially 2 rules when it comes to user story mapping. Rule number 1, start with outcomes. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. In addition to the 2 rules that I just shared with you, there are a few other tips and tricks to consider. The first one is about putting multiple user journeys into the same story map. Of course, only unless you have 2 separate products. You remember the example of Facebook that I provided with you? The regular user versus the advertiser? Those are 2 different products, 2 different story maps, 2 different prioritizations. But if you have one product with slightly different target groups, try to put everything in the same story map so that you as a product owner have one place where you do your prioritization. The second tip to consider is that the story map itself is a living document. As you are learning about your customers, about your users, you will probably be adding more and more features to your product backlog, to your story map. And based on that, prioritization itself becomes a constant activity. You can't expect to prioritize only once and then be done with it. So you have to constantly think about prioritization. And even if there are no changes to your product backlog itself, but based on the feedback you receive from customers, you might decide to reprioritize a few things. As I mentioned before, in addition to story mapping, there are a bunch of other prioritization techniques out there. And in our next video, I will share with you a few of them. But we have so far learned 2. 1 being the prioritization matrix, 2 being user story mapping. And even these 2 can be combined with each other really well. Imagine that you have defined an MVP, a certain set of features to achieve a certain outcome. Now, which one do you start on working with? Ask your developers how much effort goes into them. Look for yourself how much value you believe each of them bring, and then look for dependencies. And when you do this, similar to the fruit salad exercise that we had with our prioritization matrix, you will fairly easy get to your own prioritization, both on the big picture, but also on the detail level. I already mentioned technical dependencies. As a product owner, you always need to be aware that technical dependencies are usually not shown or not displayed in a story map. And if you yourself lack the technical knowledge to see those dependencies, you really need to listen to your development team. They see those things, and those dependencies need to be considered in prioritization as well. So spend product backlog refinement as an activity, as a place to discuss especially these dependencies and create a shared understanding why you're prioritizing certain things the way that you and ultimately the team are prioritizing them. And finally, I want you to apply the 5-minute philosophy, this MVP thinking, not only to the big picture, but also to the details. You remember in the previous video, I shared with you the example of payment options. So it's not enough to just prioritize payment in general, but also look at payment as a bucket, dive deep, and then prioritize which one of these payment options are we going to deliver to our customers first. And maybe some of them are not needed at all. The only way to determine this is to listen to our customers and actually look at their behavior. You can see there are a bunch of tips and tricks to consider when applying user story mapping as a technique for prioritization. Don't expect from yourself that you will apply all of them at the same time and correctly. It takes practice, as we've seen with all the other tools as well. In our next video, I will share a few more prioritization techniques with you. I'll see you there.